Now, Elden Ring is home to a million different fan theories about what could or could not be happening in the game and the lore, so this is a compilation of 5 really cool theories that I found that I think you guys should be aware of. So in Thops' questline, we have to give him a key to get back into Liurnia. However, as the theory goes, that very key is actually what kills him. On the key's description, it says that the key recognizes its user and only they can use it and no one else. But the one we give to Thops has already been used, or at least paired to another person. When we find this extra key, it's on top of a chandelier, which typically means that somebody was sneaking around trying to get back into Liurnia, as we know some people were dispelled from the academy and needed keys to get back in. The noble we get it appears to have died up on the rafters, which doesn't seem like a normal place for people to get killed. This leads us to think that possibly that noble stole the key to get in, but instead of the key not working, it just slowly kills the unpaired user instead of giving an instant death. This would also give an explanation as to why we find Thops slumped over dead at his desk, because possibly the key could have been killing him slowly after he attained it. Now, this next theory has to do with Melania, Blade of Miquella. As we know, she's infected by the scarlet rot, and it has been rotting her body slowly. Even with the unalloyed gold, she still has lost limbs and her eyesight. However, that then opens the question this theory is based on. How does Melania see you or her enemies in the fight? We know that Melania was trained by the blind swordsman, so there could be something to that in terms of her being able to use her ears to hear you and being trained without her sight, because we're not 100% sure when the scarlet rot might have taken it. However, I feel the answer may be even simpler than that. If you look very closely at Melania's boss arena, you will see water in the very middle of the entire boss arena. The theory goes that Melania actually uses the water in the arena to figure out where you are by the sound the water makes as you step in it or roll through it. This would make a ton of sense considering she can't see at all, but at this point her hearing is probably top notch and can rival most people's sight. But what do you guys think about this theory? I think it's probably one of the most plausible theories I've heard in Elden Ring. The next popular theory that a lot of people have speculated about and made a ton of videos about is the fact that Elden Ring is actually a massive prequel to the rest of the Soulsborne games. Yes, obviously there are plot holes, and I'm not going to do a massive deep dive. There are a ton of videos that do that, but even games like Sekiro could be drawn from in terms of being the land of reeds in Elden Ring. The reason people think this is that each ending seems to have some correlation with the other Souls-like games. If you choose Fia's ending, you cause everything to slowly die and a fog to be covered over the entire land, bringing about the world of Demon Souls. Now, if you choose Ranni the Witch and bring about the Age of Stars, not only does it close the entire world in a land of moonlight, but it also gives people their free will, allowing no meddling by the outer gods. This could lead us into the world of Bloodborne, which is a land surrounded in perpetual moonlight. It is also speculated that possibly Lindell becomes the dungeons under Yharnam because all of the massive roots. And if you do the Flame of Frenzied ending, which obviously is the one true ending, everything goes completely haywire. The entire world is burnt. It is an incredibly hard and radical reset, and it leans into causing the world to turn to ash. This would be most reminiscent of Dark Souls, and the burning tree we see in the Flame of Frenzied ending looks very similar to the opening of Dark Souls, which could lead directly into that game. Now, I'm pretty sure Miyazaki has stated that none of them are connected with Elden Ring. However, it does seem a little bit odd that we can draw these certain parallels from Elden Ring to the other Soulsborne games. Now, this next theory I actually really like a lot, and it makes you think really hard about who our Tarnished actually is. There's been many speculations across Reddit and every other lore place that you can possibly think of when it comes to the background of our Tarnished, but the one theory that I have found that I enjoy the most comes from the YouTuber ZayfTheScholar. I will leave his channel linked down in the description below, but this theory claims that our Tarnished is actually an illegitimate child of Marika, making us a demigod. Now, I will link his video down in the description below so you can watch the full thing at length, but basically this would explain why we are allowed to kill demigods, why we are powerful enough to do so and wield their great runes, and eventually why we are able to kill an extraterrestrial being such as the Elden Beast. It would make a ton of sense if we too were a demigod, because that would give us all the power we would need. His video also has evidence that we are being reborn at the beginning of the game from the great mausoleums that wander the lands between. I think this theory is incredible, and even if it is not true, I still love to think about where our tarnish could come from, why we are as powerful as we are, and it would give credence to the fact that we are the most powerful being in the entirety of Elden Ring. Now, this last theory in Elden Ring comes from Vati many years ago, and if we look around at Liurnia of the Lakes, I think it's going to make perfect sense. So as you look all around Liurnia, it looks like a massive sunken wasteland that used to be prosperous and full of magic energy. However, as we look around, everything is sunken, overgrown, and falling apart, unable to be repaired. I think and agree with what Vati said, and it's the one theory in Elden Ring that I absolutely believe is true. Liurnia of the Lakes is sinking because if you look at the map and go to the underground view, it is directly on top of the Lake of Rot. I don't know how long this has been this way or if the Lake of Rot has always been there, but it's very clear to me that underneath Liurnia of the Lakes, the Lake of Rot has been slowly but surely eating away at the ground, decomposing the foundations that Liurnia was built on and sucking it underneath the ground. I would not be surprised if as the timeline went on, Liurnia completely vanished and there was just a giant chasm full of the Lake of Rot with ruins of Raya Lucaria inside of it. In fact, if you go into the Lake of Rot and look directly up, you're going to see giant crystals shooting out of the foundations of that ceiling. I think this is directly tied to the crystals that were being studied at Raya Lucaria and the magic energies that are there, but what do you guys think, and what are your favorite theories for Elden Ring that have either been confirmed or remain at large? And guys, there are 5 Elden Ring theories that I personally really enjoy. Whether they be true or not, I always love theory crafting and diving into possible lore for this game, as it seems to always never answer questions, but give you more questions to answer. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe on your way out. And until next time, guys, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.